So you want to start going to the gym and get super fit, but you are completely overwhelmed by all the information out there? I get it, it's a total jungle. But by clicking on this video, you just made the best decision in your new fitness journey. I analyzed the most popular fitness advice, checked the science behind it, and simplified it so you can get straight to the good stuff. We'll cover everything from which exercises to choose, how to build muscles effectively, key nutrition tips, and I'll even provide you with a full workout routine that you can start using immediately. Now, honestly, I didn't realize until I tried it myself, some of these strategies are so powerful, they can totally make or break your progress. First up, before you even step foot in the gym, let's make sure that you're prepared. Here's exactly what you need to bring. Comfortable workout clothes, gym shoes, which can be either flat for lifting or cushioned if you also want to include some cardio, a towel, and a water bottle. That's it, nothing else. Don't overpack, you're not moving in, you're just working out. Oh, also, quick tip. Most gyms have lockers that are free to use, but if you want to be on the safe side, you can bring a lock for yourself. Okay, you've got your bag packed, but now comes the intimidating part. Actually walking through those doors inside the gym full of very buff guys that are definitely going to stare at you. Well, of course that's not going to happen. Or will it? But here's the good news. Most gyms are very happy to offer free tours where they will explain all the different sections and they might also give you some free training tips. So my best advice here is to check out some of the local gyms around you. It's a great way to get familiar with what to expect, and you also get to see the vibe of the place, which is also really good. Now, most gyms will have these four main sections. First of all, a stretch or mat area for the warm-up and cool-down, then a cardio area with the treadmills, bikes, and rowing machines, and the other two areas are for strength training. Here you have the strength machines and the free weights. Now, as a beginner, strength machines are your best friend, more so than free weights or any other type of equipment. And this is for several reasons. First of all, they have this little label on the side, which is literally a cheat sheet. Literally a cheat sheet, yes. That explains exactly how to do the exercise and also shows you which muscles that you're targeting. Pretty cool, right? In addition, you can also easily change the intensity of the exercise simply by adjusting the weight stacks that you're using. And then finally, these strength machines keep you in a fixed plane of motion. Because of this, you are precisely targeting specific muscle groups, and you're also less likely to injure yourself by doing a wrong movement. Now, free weights are awesome too, but they're considered more advanced because you open yourself up to more planes of motion. Therefore, a proper understanding of form and technique is really crucial here. So, overall, machines are very easy to use, very effective, and they're also safer than free weights. Like using strength machines as a beginner, you're probably not going to have those gym fails that you see all the time on TikTok. Probably. Okay, so we've decided we'll start with the machines, but let's be honest, that didn't really narrow things down because there's still so many of them out there. That's why this next part is key, because here we'll go over how to choose the right exercise for maximal results. Now, for the majority of your workout, you want to choose those machines that perform what are called compound exercises. And the reason that these are so fantastic is that they give you a lot of bang for your buck. Let me explain with two very popular examples. The first one is the hack squat, where you train your quads, hamstrings, and glutes, basically your entire lower body. Another very popular exercise is the lat pull down, where you train your upper back, shoulders, and biceps. That's pretty much everything that you flex in the mirror and you say, "Yeah, I lift." So as you can see from these examples, compound exercises train a lot of muscle groups. That's also where they got their name from, and that makes them super efficient. Another advantage, again because you use so many muscle groups, is that you burn a ton of calories. Not only during your workout, but also afterwards when you are building your muscles. And then finally, this is probably my favorite one. These exercises are often based on natural movements. Like, for example, the squat. This will help you with jumping and running, so it definitely boosts your athleticism. And another big plus is that when you master these movements, as you get older, it's a huge plus for your long-term health. Now, besides these compound exercises that target multiple muscle groups at once, we also have the isolation exercises where you train a single muscle group. I'm certainly not advising against them. They do have their unique benefits that make them part of any workout routine. And let me start with an example again. In this case, it's the bicep curl. Now, the reason that people love it so much is because it just makes the bicep pop so much more. Another benefit of these exercises is that they can fix imbalances. See, with compound movements, it can be that your stronger muscles compensate for the weaker ones, but this just makes the problem worse. So with isolation exercises, you can give some extra attention to those underdeveloped muscles. And then finally, isolation exercises are also really good for rehab and injury prevention. Again, to give that extra love to some muscles that need some more attention. Great, so now we have a good understanding of which exercises to pick for maximal results. But how do we actually do them? Like how many sets and how many repetitions? You've probably heard of doing for each exercise 3 sets with somewhere between 10 and 15 repetitions. But let me tell you, that's just a myth. In fact, if you're going to follow that blindly, you'll just be wasting your time. Instead, let's talk about the key factors that actually drive muscle growth, like volume, intensity, and frequency. And let's start with volume, which is how many sets per exercises you should do. Now, surprisingly, more isn't always better, and it turns out that there's a sweet spot for volume. Do too few sets and you will hardly see any muscle gains, but do too many and you're basically just wasting your time, or you might even be hindering your recovery. As a general guideline for most people and most muscle groups, you want to do somewhere between 10 and 20 sets per exercise. So to give an example, let's say that you do bicep exercises, then you could do 6 sets on Monday and 6 sets on Thursday, totaling 12 for the week. Key here is that you also experiment with the number of sets per exercise and see how well your gains are and also how well your body is recovering. Also, keep in mind that most people actually do too much volume, and they would be way better off by focusing more on effort, which I'll get back to in a second. But first, I want to talk about intensity, which is how heavy or light your weight should be. Now, we just saw that those 3 sets per exercises is just a myth, and also those 10 to 15 repetitions is not really correct. But wait, I thought we were going to talk about how heavy the weight should be. Yes, just follow me for a second. See, research has shown that when you go as low as 3 repetitions with really heavy weights, or as high as 60 repetitions with really light weights, that you can have the same effect in muscle gain. Now, having said that, doing 60 repetitions per set for each exercise just isn't that practical, unless your goal is to get really buff and also emotionally broken at the same time. Also, the more often you go above 15 repetitions, the higher you risk burning yourself out, as these high repetition sets are just harder for your body to recover from. On the other hand, once you dip below 6 repetitions with these really heavy weights, you put a lot of strain on your muscles and your joints, so you really risk injuring yourself. So while you can go really heavy or really light, as a general guideline, it's good to stay somewhere between 6 and 15 repetitions per set. Now, this next factor is no doubt the most fundamental variable in muscle growth, and no matter how much you optimize all the other variables, if you do not put in the effort, your muscles simply won't grow optimally. Now, I definitely got your attention here, but what do I mean with effort? Well, we just saw that you want to do somewhere between 6 repetitions with heavy weights and 15 repetitions with light weights per set, right? Now, you want to select your weight in such a manner that within that 6 to 15 repetition range, you get very close or all the way to muscle failure, meaning that you can't do a single repetition anymore. That means by the last repetition that you can do, you will make a face like you've never made before, your limbs will start shaking, and you will start questioning every life decision you've ever made. That's how you know you've done it. Congratulations. The sweet spot here is that for most sets, you shouldn't be leaving more than 1 to 2 repetitions left in the tank. But that can be a lot harder than you think, or in other words, you are a lot stronger than you think. So really push yourself, and at least once for every exercise, do a set where you go all the way to muscle failure, just to see how it feels. But wait. Having said all this, as a beginner, you have to start much lighter. Especially those first 1 to 2 weeks, you want to take it very slow and exercise with a lot left in the tank. You will still be sore and you will still see those muscle gains just because your body isn't used to those exercises or movements. And by doing so, within 3 to 6 weeks, you can get to the point where you can do sets to complete muscle failure in a safe manner and without getting injured. Okay, so let's say that we just finished a workout. When should we come back to see the biggest effect? Here we're talking about frequency, meaning how many times per week should we hit a certain body part? Now, we had that example where we were training our biceps with 6 sets on Monday and 6 sets on Thursday. The reason that we split it up is because if you were to do all 12 sets on a single day, first of all, it would be really hard to get to that high number of sets. And secondly, the last sets of the day that you will be doing, the quality of them just won't be as good anymore. So instead, you can divide your workout over multiple days, and with a frequency of at least twice a week, you will get very good results. Okay, with all of this incredible information in mind, it's time to put it all together. So for volume, we saw that we want to have 12 sets per week per exercise. Then for effort, this is a big one, so really push hard. For most of your sets, you want to get very close or all the way to muscle failure. For intensity, here you want to adjust your weights in such a way that within that 6 to 15 repetition range, you get very close to muscle failure. And then coming back twice a week is a very good frequency. Now, to wrap up this training part, let me give you a beginner guide that you can start following right away. If you're short on time, let's say that you can only go to the gym twice, 3 times a week, you want to do a full body workout each time. They're incredibly efficient and you can train your whole body in fewer focused sessions. In that case, your workout plan would look something like this. And as you can see, it's heavily reliant on compound exercises. Again, because we want to train as much of the body as possible. You can also see it alternates between upper and lower body exercises to give you some time to recover in between those different parts. And then finally, we also want to include some core training, which can be crunches or planks. Oh, and as a beginner, you get bonus points if you can do planks without having any awkward eye contact with someone across the gym. Now, as said, you can do this workout twice a week, and then your weekly schedule would look something like this, where you go in on Monday and on Thursdays. Now, if you have more time or you simply want to see faster gains, I highly recommend the upper-lower body split. It's super simple, and as the name suggests, you split your workout into 2 different categories. In the upper body part, you train your chest, back, shoulders, biceps, and triceps. And then in the lower part, you train your quads, hamstrings, glutes, calves, and also here you normally include your core exercises. Now, I really think the upper-lower body split is fantastic for a few key reasons. First of all, you can hit all the different muscle groups with really good intensity, and with a frequency of twice a week, you have a very nice balance between recovery and also increase in muscle mass. Also, because you're forced to train your entire body evenly, you get a very nice balanced development. No more skipping leg days with this one. And you'd be surprised of how good it looks when you train your entire body like this. Finally, the upper-lower body split is very easy to follow, making it very beginner-friendly, much more than some of the other splits that are out there. Also here, I have a workout plan that you can start following immediately. And keep in mind, I selected the exercises based on how effective they are and also how safe they are to perform. So you want to do as many of these exercises as possible in a single run. And then keeping that frequency in mind, you want to do a weekly scheme something like this, where you do 2 days of upper and 2 days of lower body per week. You'll see results in no time with this one. Hold on, before you jump into any of these workouts, we need to talk about one crucial step that can make or break your workout. And that is the warm-up and cool-down. This is the one thing that prevents you from getting injured and losing all of your gains. Now, also here there's a very popular myth that when you think about it, it actually doesn't make much sense. And that's the 5-minute running. Sure, it's better than nothing and it can be good if you have leg day. But if you have full body or upper body, why would you only warm up your legs? Instead, there's another cardio exercise that you can do, and it's a full body compound movement. And that's the rowing machine. Alternatively, if you're not really a big fan of cardio, you can also start and end your workout with 5 minutes of stretches. And then every time you start a new exercise, you do a couple of sets with 10 to 15 repetitions with really light weight, just to get your muscles activated. Okay, we made it. You've got your training plan locked down. However, there's one last piece of the puzzle. In fact, if you get this next step wrong, you might not see any gains in muscle mass or strength. We're talking about the most important part of fitness outside of the gym, and that is your nutrition, more specifically how much protein you eat and the quality of your protein. And yes, eat more protein is generally good advice, but we can do so much better than that. So first up, how much protein should we eat? Here we know that it's about 1.6 to 2.2 grams of protein per kilograms of body weight. So let's say that you're 75 kilograms heavy, then you need about 120 to 165 grams of protein every day. To put that in perspective, that means that you have to eat 3 whole rotisserie chickens every day. That's it. You're welcome. Now, if you're overweight, this calculation is not going to be that helpful because it's going to give you a crazy amount of protein to consume. Instead, you can calculate it as gram of protein per centimeter of your body height. So let's say that you're about 175 centimeters tall. Then you need about 175 grams of protein every day. Next, we need to know that not all protein is created equal. See, proteins are made of different amino acids, and these amino acids are the building blocks for our muscles. However, some of these different amino acids our body simply can't make, and that's why they're considered essential. And they're also essential for building our muscles. So based on this, we can categorize our food on whether or not they have these essential amino acids. We have the high quality complete proteins, which are most often animal source like meat, fish, dairy, and egg. Then we also have the complete and incomplete protein sources, which are most often plant-based, such as soy, quinoa, rice, and beans. Important to understand here though is that different types of plants will have different essential amino acids. So you can mix and match to get the whole spectrum. It doesn't mean that if you prefer not to eat meat that you can get all essential amino acids. And then, while protein is super important, don't get too distracted initially with questions like when you should eat your protein or if you should start taking supplements. Your actual strength training is a much more powerful contributor to growth and muscle mass than any of these tiny dietary details will ever be by a long shot. As a beginner, you will see amazing results by consistent hard training and making sure that you have enough quality protein. And that's it. Keep it simple, stay consistent, and your muscles will thank you. Now, if you found this video helpful, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me make more videos like this. And let me know in the comments what your questions or fears are about strength training. And if it is, am I supposed to wipe down the machine before I use it? I feel you. Alright, see you in the next one.